choose to not be first?
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Shane Watson joins me on a massive fight week for S-Jam here in London. Shane, thanks for giving me some of your time. How are we, mate? Tired?
All good, mate. Very tired. 33 hours in, no sleep. Had a few things going on at home, so been wide awake for a bit now, but all good, mate. Excited for a massive fight week. Tommy Fletcher in the 6th rounder and Joe Joyce fighting for his career world level.
I can see why you got a can of Monster if you've been awake for 33 hours, the juice. We'll start by talking about Tommy. Obviously flying at the moment. People love someone who can get in there, put power behind their punches and knock people out. And I guess that's what he's going to want to do again on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, he's got another little step up an opponent. I think it might be his last 6th rounder as well. But we look for knockout always, but if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. If it comes, it comes. He needs rounds as well, to be honest. I'd quite like him to get at least 4 or 5 rounds on Saturday. It would be ideal.
I know Lois was here. I don't know if he's still here. And it's something that's kind of brewing. I know obviously people are going to talk about it because we do love 2 young domestic fighters putting it on the line. Is that something you kind of let yourself think about as someone in position to manage Tommy's career?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a fight that can be made down the line. I'm really excited to make that fight one day. Had to keep them kind of apart today. Oh my God, Alfred Warren has fallen over, throwing a bowling ball.
I wish I was filming that instead.
It actually hit the canvas. It actually went down. He got up after about 4 seconds, so it wouldn't have been waved off. But a bit of a flash knockdown. But
yeah, we are at a bowling alley, by the way, so that is why this is going on. But yeah, a fight you're excited to make. Not now, then, kind of let it brew, and it will happen.
Yeah, I think it'd be their kind of like Fabio Wardley Adelaide moment and the Joyce DeBar moment. Like they're 2 guys that are building their name. They clearly don't like each other. There's sparring rumours. They can both punch. They're both with great trainers. They're both young. What is there not to like about it? That's a British and Commonwealth title fight at the least. So until they're getting paid British and Commonwealth title money, then the fight won't happen. But it will happen. Like, don't get me wrong, 18 months, 2 years down the line, the fight will happen.
It is going to be a wicked fight when it does happen. Talking of sparring, I saw what Jordan Thompson said to another channel about his sparring with Tommy. Good to hear from someone who's, well, at world level now and will be fighting for a world title, and to hear kind of his praise and what he's seen in Tommy.
Yeah, you think about Tommy's preparation for this camp. Been sparring Joe Joyce out in Vegas, Joe Joyce in London, and Jordan Thompson. And many other good guys, by the way. That's just a few of them. But so he's again brought on loads, sparring world level opposition. Jordan Thompson really likes him, and that's a nice compliment from a very good fighter in Jordan. It's a good compliment always, but sparring is sparring, and you need to remember that at the end of the day. It's not going to win you fights at the end of the day, but it will give him some kind of experience, and it will help build his confidence as well.
Yeah, we can't wait to see Tommy back in the ring and back doing his thing. You mentioned that he was in Vegas with Joe. Let's talk about Joe. Do you feel like this is kind of the, I don't want to say the do or die moment, because in boxing you can always recover from defeats, and that's obviously what Joe's trying to do now, but do you feel like there is a bit of do or die about this week for Joe?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's heavyweight division, you can always come back. If there's one division where a defeat isn't the end of the world, it's definitely in the heavyweights. I mean, Chisora has come back 13 times. I know Joshua only lost to Usyk and Ruiz, but he's come back 3 times. I could go down and through history as well. Muhammad Ali lost loads of times. Larry Holmes lost a fight before, etc. So you could go on and on and on about people coming back. Like George Foreman came back at 45 years of age and whatnot. So it's not the end of the world, but we're fully focused on a Joe Joyce win, and I'm very confident he'll beat Zhang on Saturday.
I think when people look at Joe and they see that even when he's won fights and he's had little moments of adversity in them fights, he's always stuck to his kind of default. It's always been march forward, take shots to give shots. And I feel like people perhaps kind of can't see a way that Joe would tinker too much. He's still got Salas in his team as well. How much tinkering are you expecting Joe to show us in the ring? Because there obviously does need to be tinkering from what we saw in April.
Well, Joe showed me something in this camp in sparring that he can box southpaw a lot. So, I mean, don't be surprised.
Southpaw versus Southpaw matchup.
Don't be surprised if you see that at some stage. But, do you know what? Like, Joe, it's almost a bit of a myth sometimes. Like, Joe doesn't always take shots clean. Like, don't get me wrong, he definitely takes more than what he probably should. Look him against Dubai, he wasn't taking loads of complete clean shots. In the Parker fight, yeah, he took some clean, but he was hitting Parker with more clean shots, and Parker's known as the guy who doesn't get hit. So, like, why don't people say that about Parker then? Listen, yeah, this is his style. He's always been that way. You're not going to change him now at 38. His health's in a good place. He's got a great chin. He didn't get knocked out or hurt in the last fight. He got stopped because of an eye injury. So I'm not really worried about it, really. But we've worked on things in camp to make sure that the things are in place so we can win this fight.
So there's no concern at all. I know, I mean, it's not something you'd say anyway, I guess, but I know Zhang has been open and saying he's going to target that eye, but there's no concern at all about the eye and the way it's recovered and going into Saturday night.
I mean, Zhang would say that, wouldn't he? Because that's how he won the last fight, but I don't believe that for a second, that Zhang's going to be the exact same as he was last time. So we're expecting an even better Zilla Zhang, and we've prepared an even better Joe Joyce to be even better than the better Zilla Zhang that comes on Saturday night. But it's a great fight. Look at the non-existent heavyweight fights right now. You've got, it's the only one, isn't it? Yeah, you've got Ngannou against Fury. I expect it's a massive event, but it's not a world level boxing match. It looks like AJ and Wilder, there's problems there. I mean, Usyk Dubai is a good fight, but it's not a world class fight because Dubai hasn't proven himself at world level yet. So, I mean, these guys are two world level guys, two Olympic silver medalists, both could have been gold as well, fighting each other for the WBO interim. So, at least they're getting in there and fighting each other. So, credit to both of them.
Yeah, we should give them credit because there are a lot of heavyweights right now sitting on their hands. So, no, you're 100% right. I know Frank went on Talk Sport and said about the potential of a trilogy if, and fingers crossed, when Joe does win on Saturday night. There will kind of be that waiting time in terms of mandatories being called. So I know it's theoretics and the fights obviously on Saturday night and that's got to be dealt with. Would you expect there to be a trilogy if Joe is to win? Because there is kind of obviously that waiting period between mandatories being called.
I mean, it's a big fight, I guess, still, but I don't.
It makes sense after what's happened with the first fight to sit, I guess, on the mandatory position.
Yeah, but the problem is with fighting Zhang again. Like, then what happens when it's like the cut-off period when the mandatory gets called? Like, Zhang, high risk, low reward. I think 2 fights are enough, really, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think we need a third one. But we'll see what happens. If it's like an unbelievable fight of the year contender, and everyone wants to see it again, then like obviously it's something you look into, isn't it? But I can't even think that far ahead right now. I'm all focused on Saturday. I'm focused on getting an actual bit of sleep tonight and not having to rely on these monsters. And see a Tommy Fletcher victory and Joe Joyce victory this weekend.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You mentioned Fury. I know he went on, I think it was actually the Queensbury interview with Dev where he said his focus is now on getting a Hollywood movie done, topping the Forbes athlete rich list. Do you feel like Tyson Fury should be stripped of his belt? Because there's obviously contenders and fighters who want to fight for the belt, and it just seems like, yes, the Ngannou thing's happening, it just seems like his mind is completely away from kind of the annal of professional boxing at the moment.
I mean, it's not his fault that WBC didn't order a mandatory. It's also not his fault that Wilder and Ruiz didn't fight for the mandatory spot. So you say that, I mean, he did have a mandatory a year ago, or a year and a bit ago now. So it's not like he's been, like Adonis Stevenson didn't have a mandatory for over 4 years. Like, no one said anything about that. So, like...
Do you think people are kind of more frustrated in the sense that because of what he's coming out and saying? It's not like he's taken other fights, or the fact that he's coming out and openly saying that there's kind of little interest now in the boxing scene.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just tongue-in-cheek with Tyson, isn't it? Like, I don't think he ever really means anything he says. He'll probably retire after this fight and then come back. Like, you know, just the kind of guy he is, the kind of character he is. And it made him a superstar, so... fair play to him, earned him a lot of money as well, isn't it? So, yeah, but it's all tongue-in-cheek. I mean, Tyson Fury will fight world-level guys again. He'll probably fight Usyk, will probably beat Usyk, and he'll probably fight Joe Joyce, all being well on Saturday. I don't think Tyson Fury... You know, my opinion changed on him a little bit recently. Like, I do think he will fight people. I just think all he really cares about is money. So when you're getting offered X amount to fight Ngannou in like an absolute massive fight, crossover, and then he beats Ngannou with ease, then can you imagine what he's going to demand to fight Usyk? And then he's right in there with the Saudis as well, isn't he? So maybe the Saudis would be the ones to put that fight on as well.
If your opinion's changed a bit on Tyson, has it changed on John?
You know what? Like, I just think about it, right? We can't say the guy doesn't fight anyone and doesn't want to fight people. The guy fought Klitschko in Germany and beat him, right? Then he came back after, obviously, the problems he had in his life. He had 2 warm-ups. It was 2 warm-ups, wasn't it? Yeah, Seferi and Pioneer, wasn't it? And then fought Wilder. Probably should have won that fight. Rematched him, beat the daylights out of him. And fought him again. Like, anyone that's crazy enough to fight Wilder 3 times, beat, in his backyard as well, beat Klitschko in Germany easily, like Polak still in white very easily. I mean, sometimes I think it gets a bit too much stick. Like, I don't think anyone else in that division's got a better resume than him, have they? So how can I say he doesn't fight anyone? Surely that means no one fights anyone, doesn't it?
No, you're right, I suppose. Just one more thing. We're waiting on an announcement for Conor Benn to be fighting on the Orlando show this weekend. Just kind of your thoughts on Conor's return, I guess, trying to keep it perhaps on a low-key sort of card, hide him deep in Florida, but I guess it's going to be something that everyone's watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult to comment on because, number one, I don't know all the facts. Number two, I'm not sure what the ruling is with UCAD and being able to fight abroad. Number three, only he knows if he actually did commit the crime he's been accused of. And number four, I wouldn't fight Florian Marku. So I'm happy to see him back because that means he can fight Florian.
You to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,